this afternoon here on 685 show for our HamoChats segment. We are very honored to have a very special guest. We're joined by Samoan music artist Eden Iati of Akerei Music, who's tuning in all the way from Hawaii. She's tuning in yesterday because it's Wednesday over there. No, let's not get into that. But Eden is a Samoan artist who is currently residing in Hawaii. And today we get to talanoa with her about her musical journey, the influences that have brought her into the space of music. And we get to hear her latest single, which dropped, I think, about a week or so ago. So we'll get to listen to that at the end of this interview. But it is my absolute pleasure. I le nganga tele tumu matwalo o te whawhilo i atu, him whatalofa atu, and a big welcome to the 685 show. Eden Iati, thank you for joining us this evening, sis.
Talofa malo sefua lo sunga le sa talofa sefoi le mamalu lo fafunga mai le nei tula. Thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure and honor just to be here and share this space with you.
Oh, good, man. I know the time difference. Actually, time difference isn't too bad. It's just the fact that I'm talking to you in Wednesday when it's Thursday here in New Zealand. But a couple of
Right.
hours apart. But I appreciate you making the time out of your evening to be with us here on the show this afternoon. Now, like we do with all our guests, before we get into the business side of things, and we get to delve into who Eden is, firstly, tuatu lewa noa, to, I guess, reintroduce yourself. Who is Eden? Where you from? The villages that you represent, and all of that good stuff. Before we get into the business side of our talanoa for this afternoon.
Awesome. So my name is Eden Faith Usangongoyati. Originally, I'm born and raised in Otaitahi, Christchurch, New Zealand. Lived and studied in Otepoti, Dunedin, went to Otago University, and then I moved to Wellington, Te Whanganui-a-Tara. And now I currently reside in Hawaii. And my villages, on my dad's side, we're from Sautu Falatai, Potasi Falealili, and Iva and Savai. And on my mom's side, Lufi Lufi, Siumu, Neafu, Falealupo, Vaisala, and Fale Tangaloa Safune and Savai. So, yeah.
Beautiful, sis. So everywhere. No,
So every yeah,
Samoa
Samoa as I hear
ato.
them say.
That's beautiful, sis. And yeah, shout out to. It's been a Christchurch-led kind of show this afternoon. All our callers that have been calling
Yeah.
in have been from Christchurch. So yeah, bawa le fiafi mo le aukalei skeke. But look, let's get into it. You're a very an amazing, talented artist and musician. Tell us, where does that all come from? Where did that music journey start for you?
Oh, well, I guess from the beginning, I grew up around music a lot from both my parents' side. I think just growing up, I had older cousins who would always be singing at church, and their dad, my uncle, would always make them sing. I was like, oh, I want to sing with them, but I was little, so they were like, wait till you're older. Um, and then I'd have an uncle, my dad's brother, who would always be playing the latest tracks from LimeWire. And so I just like there was always music playing in the house. And then from my mom's side, her sister, which is my auntie Bala Kalowo, she's an incredible artist,
Indeed.
vocalist, actress, content creator, man. She's just been a huge musical and creative presence in my life as well. And she's always been really big on performing arts music, which I think stems from my nana, which is yeah. So that's kind of how like family wise it started.
Yeah.
But just in general, I think growing up in Samoan settings, wherever there's a gathering of people, I feel there's always music.
Yeah.
Whether it's church or family local, there's the weddings, funerals, every get together, there's always music, and I think it's just a really beautiful part of being Pacific, but also just being Samoan. So I have had a collection of experiences that have led to kind of like the musical passion that I've developed for now.
I want to ask very briefly because if you don't currently follow Eden on socials, now is the time to go and follow her on Instagram and Spotify, Akerei Music. Now, I've always known you as Eden. But I'm
Yeah.
very curious with the name. Well, what is the meaning behind Akerei? Um, where did that come from? I think it's a beautiful name. To banner umbrella all your music endeavors under. But I'm curious to know, what does Akerei mean and where does it come from?
Wow, thanks for the question. So Akerei is the name of my uncle that was always playing music downloaded from LimeWire. It's my dad's younger brother. And so in my house, I grew up with like it was me and my brother, my mom and dad, my nana and granddad, and my auntie and uncle.
Mm,
And so I wanted to choose a name that was kind of more than myself. Um, I feel like my name is represents me as the individual, but I wanted to choose a name from my family that represented something like a bit more than me. And so I chose that name, um, which is my uncle's name. So that's where Akire comes from.
beautiful.
And yeah, it was just important to me to kind of like pay tribute and homage to like the people around me that have poured into, I guess, the musical like presence and I guess endeavors that I now get to like partake in.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Eden. You, I mentioned in our intro today, you're currently based in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Now, tell us about that. In your intro, you're like, I'm from Christchurch, and then I'm from Wellington, and then I ripped Dunedin, Otago, um, and now you're in Hawaii. Tell us what brought you
Yeah.
to Hawaii, and how long have you been there now, and how is your time in Hawaii kind of, how's it been for you being in Hawaii and kind of pursuing your music career and all your creative endeavors?
Um, well, like the reason I actually am here is because my husband is from here. So I was one of those people like, oh, they moved overseas for love. I was like, ew, I would never meet those people, but here I am. And so that's what brought me here. I was here to visit, and then I ended up getting stuck here during those the years of COVID, the
Right.
pandemic. So that's how I ended up staying here for a longer amount of time.
Mm.
And living here is so different. Every place is different. Every place has its unique beauties and challenges. But I enjoy my time here, and I think it's because of the people that I get to really be surrounded by. Um, yeah, so that's what brought me here.
Yeah. I'm curious. You brought up, being just as a side kind of sidestep on our talanoa. Tell us what it was like for you during COVID, being stuck there. Obviously, being away from home and mum and dad and your siblings, and just kind of being
Yeah.
over there. What was that experience like for you?
It was pretty difficult. I would say it's really different, especially when you're used to being around family all the time. It's quite a scary time. But simultaneously, I was really well supported by my husband's family here and just like a lot of the aunties and uncles that I met here. And yeah, the village community that you get to develop in different places, like it's really beautiful. I was really blessed to have people that were like family here. So it made a really challenging and difficult and uncertain time still like manageable and less lonely, I would say, because I don't think that we're people that do things as like individuals and being on your own is so different. So yeah, it was a really interesting time and scary, but glad we made it through.
Man, that's yeah. I'm glad you made it through, and like having that support system is really important. Uh,
Yeah.
in terms of your music endeavors, I've seen, and for those who will hear this interview, please go check out Eden on YouTube. Search up Eden Iati or Akerei Music. You've been taking part in some of uh, the the local spots and really getting amongst the music scene there. What's it been like for you as an artist, a Samoan artist, a New Zealand artist as such, coming from what you know here and then kind of immersing yourself in that scene there? How is that? Has that been scary? Has it been fun? Like, talk us through that.
It's definitely been scary. It's been like a process. I feel like I spent a lot of time just really learning from a lot of people around here. I think when I left New Zealand, I was just starting off when I left. So I was like just starting to get into the music scene. And then I didn't even get to kind of finished that beginning intro and then I came here. So it kind of was like music scene felt like brand new in general. And so that was just like really brand new for me, I guess if I could describe it in one way. But I really got to learn from a lot of people, and like there's so much talent out here, and a lot of people that have been really supportive and helped me just find my place also in the music scene over here as well. Um, yeah.
Mean, I'm. I just want to ask, in terms of um, your creative identity, as as a Samoan artist or as an artist who is of Samoan descent, what is that? What kind of role does you being a Samoan play in terms of your music and your creative identity as an artist? And which will lead on to another question. I'll answer that question, then we'll lead on to the next.
Um, Being Samoan, I think, is something that it's been something that's like, well, it's something I'm very proud of. I'm so proud to be Samoan. And so
Mm,
it's kind of the inspiration behind all the themes, I think, in the music that I've been writing, and also in some up and coming projects that I've got,
yeah.
that haven't really been, they're not released yet, they're not completed yet, but it's definitely been the inspiration behind the themes of my music. Like
Mm,
even if I don't do a song in Samoan, it's inspired by like the theme of family and the theme of like community and all of those kinds of things. And um, that I think are really important values in our Samoan society.
yeah.
So that's kind of how it's played a role in that. It's definitely the inspiration for everything that I do. And uh, yeah, I think that's kind of like the essence of it.
Yeah. I wanted to ask because I don't think many people know this, unless you're like hot out on TikTok. Um, like especially during like lockdown and stuff. But
Yeah.
during lockdown, correct me if I'm wrong. It might have been before or after or during lockdown. There was an audio going around that everyone was using of your cover of Mo'omo'onga. And that kind of blew up.
Yeah.
Like every second TikTok was using your cover of Mo'omo'onga, which is now you can find on YouTube. Tell us what that was like. Like, cause was that? And did you intend to like, okay, I'm gonna sit down and record this track and hopefully it'll go viral, or was it just like something you decided, oh, I'm just gonna do for fun kind of vibe?
Yeah, it really it was that. It was the latter. I love singing Samoan songs. It always feels like it brings me closer to home. So I was just like, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna do a cover of this. I did a cover of that and a couple other Samoan songs. And I was just like, oh, I'll just post it. That was definitely the era of just posting anything and everything on TikTok, including like the dances and
Right.
the random stuff. So that's kind of what led me to posting that. I didn't know that people were going to use it, and I'm grateful that they really enjoyed it
Yeah.
and could feel connected to it.
We'll play that out later on in the show before we wrap up, so we don't cover your Leo in the interview and stuff. Talk to us about your latest single that you've just released. Correct me if I'm wrong. It'll be about a week and a half ago, or maybe a fortnight ago. Um,
Yeah.
thank you. What inspired the latest project? Thank you. Tell us a bit about that song.
So thank you. It was my song for my family. I started writing it when I was like 15 or 16 when I was living in Dunedin. And I wrote the first verse for my parents, and then I wrote kind of the chorus for like just all my family, and the second verse was for my siblings. And then the bridge I just got to finish the year before last year, which is so weird because when I first started writing it, I was like, okay, that's it, it's done. And then I went and recorded it actually with my auntie, just like a very simple version. And I listened back and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so paurua in that. And then time has passed, and then you develop some more skills, and then I was able to like write a bit more and kind of add into that based off of life experiences. And after like being separated from my family for a while, I was like, man, like life is so like precious, and like it's so important to really appreciate the people that we love and have in our lives. And so that kind of helped me finish it. And then I was like, I really want to record that and release it while I have the opportunity.
Yeah.
So Yeah, that's kind of what inspired that song, song of gratitude for family, community, and just all the people that kind of pour into our lives and help us to become who we are.
I mean, beautiful. I think that's beautiful. I'm looking forward to playing this out on air when we wrap up our talanoa this evening. But I have a couple more questions in terms of your creative journey so far. What's been kind of the biggest challenge for you? But what has also been the biggest highlight for you so far on your musical journey?
Oh, okay. That's a good question. Biggest challenge. I would say maybe I'll start with my highlight because I'm trying to think of there's many challenges. So I'm trying to think of one in particular. I'm like, oh, um, I think the highlights of it is being able to share music and seeing people be like touched by the music and saying like, oh, I really connected to this. And with the different kind of genres that I've been really fortunate to be able to sing and like be in the spaces of, people are like, oh, I connected to this song or I connected to this song, and I think that's real special. I view music as like storytelling, and so I think it's really cool because it's like a vessel for storytelling, but it's also a vessel for advocacy. It's also a way of healing and strengthening people, communities, and so it's such a like diverse thing. Like it's like intangible, but you can do so much with music. So that's definitely been a highlight is seeing
Yeah.
the value and purpose and meaning in it and how
Mm.
impactful it can be. Maybe the challenge would be um, I think probably, well, for me, there's a lot of challenges. One of them is like marketing. I'm not good at promoting my stuff. I'm not good at marketing myself. I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna leave it out there and
Yeah.
goodbye. And then I get real nervous, and then I'm just like, no, I'm gonna go off social media. But then other challenges is also making sure like I'm making music in a way that's respectful, like especially if it's cultural music. I'm like always trying to make sure I'm like operating from like the right place
Right.
and with respect to like example the songwriters of the song and crediting those who have like written it and just things like that that might innocently be forgotten. So probably things like that.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Apart from the music, obviously you're a music artist, but I know that there's so much more to Eden Iati that the world may not know or may not see. That you post up through your music, like a lot of it is predominantly the music. But what's behind the music? What else is there? What are the other kind of things in life that drive Eden Yati apart from music? I know back in university you were involved in student politics and kind of that scene. Right now where you're at, what else is pushing the everyday for Eden?
Ah, what's pushing at the moment is some other projects that I'm really grateful to work on. I'm currently in like kind of like a wellness space.
Mm,
So I'm really passionate at the moment about like holistic wellness, especially for our Pacific people,
yeah.
and just encouraging that kind of just like a lifestyle of wellness pretty much. So I'm working at the moment on a personal, like just on an apparel at the moment called Manuia.
Yes.
It is on Instagram, not to the plug, but if you want to check it out, and it's just like living well as a community and encouraging like and promoting positive living, wellness and movement, wellness in our lifestyles. And yeah, I'm currently really into lifting at the moment. So
Let's
that's
go.
kind of what's inspired that.
Let's push.
Yeah. So that's kind of what is my main thing at the moment is that.
Beautiful. In terms of you've kind of already alluded to the how important family is to you as an artist and as a person. Um, Tell us a bit about like the importance of faith. I know you're very grounded in your faith and your spiritual well-being. Tell us how important that is for you as a person, but also as a creative, as an artist.
Faith, the well, I think faith for me has evolved over time, the older I've gotten, and it's become like faith is kind of what keeps me grounded, but also it's what gives me peace, I would say, through turmoil,
Yeah.
the way that family gives me like strength through like adversity.
Mm.
So I would say it's that's played a role in keeping me grounded and also teaching me. I think that there's so much that if I look back in my life, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna punch myself in the face. But and so it's helped me to grow and evolve and also reflect at the things that I could really refine in my life and how I can better serve the people around me,
Mm.
how I can better contribute to society, and just be a better, I guess, person of service, which is something that I really love. That's, one of the values of Samoan society is service. So
Yeah.
there's a lot that I take from it. Yeah.
Malo whawhaitai. Look, as we kind of bring our talanoa to a close this evening, I'm really interested. What's next for Eden Iati? What is next for Akerei music, and what can we expect in the near future with regards to some of your music?
Um, oh, nice question. I would say obviously we met through the Otago days at university,
Yeah,
and what I was studying at that time was a lot of politics, but also Pacific studies,
yeah,
and that's kind of where my passion was.
yeah.
And so, what you can expect is maybe more of those themes that I
Mm,
was learning about through Pacific studies coming through in some of the upcoming projects that I've got.
cool.
I'm currently working with a kind of local native kind of like organization. They're called Creative Natives Hawaii, and we've been working together on creating a project with my good friend brother Ash. And so this is kind of something that has a bit more weight. It's got a bit more like heaviness to it,
Yeah.
and so kind of got those themes, those indigenous themes in it, which I hope will be a strengthening, but also kind of like raise awareness, kind of like that kind of in that kind of space. And
Mm.
so we're hoping to add a bit more, yeah, of that in the music that's going to be coming up soon. Not anytime like in the next few months, but maybe in the next year or so.
But you're cooking, right?
Yeah, we're cooking at the
And the
moment.
mukuka just ballowing away. No, I love that.
Yeah.
For anyone who may be listening who has never heard your music before we play out, thank you, but is keen to know what's your sound? How would you describe your sound in one sentence, if you
Oh my
can?
God.
I know
Okay.
that's a tough question.
Random.
Rand.
It's very random. But it's maybe neo soul, a bit of reggae. Oh, neo soul and a little bit of 90s reggae with a Pacific fusion.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah.
Neo soul with a bit of
Thank
90s
you.
reggae and a bit of Pacific fusion. Well, look, well, thank you so much, Eden. Thank you for your time this afternoon and just sharing a bit about yourself. And it's been great to allow our listeners to get to know you a little bit more, and your music as well, which we will play out as we wrap this interview up. I'd like to give the opportunity before we wrap up. Any alofa-angas you want to make? I know you've got a lot of family here in NZ and in Samoa who might be listening or who will see this interview or listen to this interview. Tu atu lewa noa, ia, mo ni o alofa-anga fia momoli, ia, ona wha mai a mai leo ta whatalanoanga lea. Whiawhi malenga ngā whaloalo, Eden?
Uh, just want to give my love to my family out in Wellington, Christchurch, Auckland, everywhere all over New Zealand, and all my villages in Samoa. Big love to all my family, even those who I haven't connected with. So yeah, thank you so much. Taitiri lava, sai mole ava noa.
Awesome. Hey, thank you, sis. We wish you all the best. We look forward to your upcoming projects, both in your own capacity, but also in collaboration with, some of the other local ainga that you've got there in Hawaii. Sending love from all of us here at PMN. We look forward to catching up again in the near future.
Cheers.
But ladies and gentlemen, this is Eden Iati's latest song. Please check her out on socials, Akerei Music, as well as Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, everything. iTunes, Amazon, me umma. This is Eden's latest track called Thank You.